Hello there everybody, Jordan back again with another video, and today I'm going to be doing a preview of all the horror movies that I am personally looking forward to in May 2026. Now this is a bumper month, we've got a lot of films to talk about here. I think there's about 13 titles here, maybe 14, and these are ones that really do interest me. I've been reading up on all the concepts, looking at the trailers and everything. These are movies that you may want to put on your radar. There may be some you haven't heard of here. I'm sure you've heard of a few of them. But these are cinema releases, digital releases, streaming releases, all a little bit different there. So we're just going to start with the first movie that comes out towards the start of the month, and then we'll go in release order. So it's not in order of personal favorites or anything like that. Now these are I like doing these videos, I do, because I love anticipating movies, but they're kind of hard to talk about because I haven't seen them. I can only guess if they're going to be any good or not. So if you don't like a movie that you watch that I put on your radar, it's not my fault. I'm just going by what it looks like and if the movie is selling it to me. So let's just get into it now, guys, with the first movie that's releasing in May 2026. First up is going to be Hokum on the 1st of May. So we haven't got too long to wait for this one. And this is a film that I think looks really interesting and one that I am highly anticipating. One of my most anticipated movies on this list, I must say. This is from director Damien McCarthy. Now, he done 2 films, I think, called Caveat, which I haven't seen yet, but I'm going to try and get to that before this movie releases, or maybe just after, and Oddity, which I thought was a really great horror film. I think it got into my top 10 horror movies of 2023. And what I really liked about that film is there was some really effective jump scares. I can usually telegraph jump scares these days. I'm not saying that I'm an expert at them or anything. I've just seen that many horror movies that you can usually tell where they're coming from. But Damien McCarthy definitely caught me off guard here. And this is all about a novelist who goes to an inn and he learns that there's a bit of a backstory about this inn that is maybe haunted by this certain witch, historically. And he must confront dark corners of his past. So it looks like a little bit of a personal story mixed with this hotel sort of inn deal there. Kind of sounds like The Shining a little bit, doesn't it? But we've got a witch at the centre of it. Now, I'm a little bit nervous going into this one because I have seen some reviews out there slating this movie. There were a lot of YouTubers who went to Fantastic Fest and really enjoyed this movie, or was it South by Southwest, sorry, and they really enjoyed it. But some of the reviews we've been getting for this film are like 4s out of 10 and everything. Okay, that was IGN. They give Michael a 3 out of 10, which I really enjoyed. But I'm just saying, it's not just IGN. There's quite a few reviewers who haven't really give this movie the praise, but I'm looking forward to it. I trust in Damien McCarthy, so let's just see how this one turns out. The trailer looks really intriguing. It looks like it's got some really creepy moments there and some great sort of makeup design and everything. So yeah, looking forward to this one. Next up, we have Deep Water, which is also a cinema release. There is no cinema release on my local Odeon, but there may be some in your local cinemas. I'm going to try and catch it somehow. But I also forgot to mention that Hokum is also a cinema release. Now, this sees Renny Harlin doing another shark movie. Now, Renny Harlin has just come off the back of the Strangers films, which were not very well received by critics and audiences alike. I didn't mind Chapter 1, but Chapter 2 and 3 I thought were terrible, to be honest. That's just a franchise with one good movie to me, Strangers Prey at Night. But Renny Harlin didn't do himself any favours with them films. But he has tackled shark movies before, Deep Blue Sea, and that is one of the best shark movies ever made. So let's see what he can do here. This has got Aaron Eckhart in, who I haven't seen in a movie in since forever. Maybe there are films that have come out that he's been in, but I just can't really recall any lately. And it's also got Ben Kingsley in there, who's a wonderful actor. And they are 2 pilots in this movie. And the plane has to make an emergency landing, and they land in the middle of the ocean in shark-infested waters. And these sharks seem to be picking them off one by one. Kind of sounds like Quint's story in Jaws now, doesn't it? About the the story he had when he was on the boat and stuff, telling the other characters and everything. So this also sounds like a movie that I seen called No Way Up, the exact same concept. And that wasn't a very good film. But I do trust Renny Harlin to do a better job. However, watching this trailer, there was a little bit of dodgy CGI and green screen thrown in there. The movie didn't kind of look real to me. And I know it's probably a very hard movie to film, but yeah, it just was a little bit jarring there. But let's hope there's some good shark kills and everything. Got two good actors in there, Aaron Eckhart and Ben Kingsley, and a competent director. I know they said The Strangers is bad, but he's made some great movies like Die Hard 2 and everything like that, Cliffhanger. So let's wait and see. But I don't hold too much hope for it. But it's a shark movie. I'll check it out. Next up, we have Heresy. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this is coming to Shudder. And this really does give off vibes of Robert Eggers' The Witch. It looks really alike. And this sees this young woman who must confront her faith, the crazy townsfolk, and something lurking between the woods. Now, I've got to say, guys, I'm not quite sure what to think of this trailer. It looks interesting. Doesn't look like it's giving too much away there. It is a foreign language movie, a Dutch movie, I believe. But it's 61 minutes long. So if I don't really take to the movie or like it all that much, at least it's not going to be on for all that long. And it's very rare that you get movies released with this runtime. I think the last film I can think of that was released as a 60 minutes was Host. And that was also Shudder. So we'll see. I'm going to be checking it out, definitely, just because of the short runtime. I know I can squeeze it in, but hopefully it's a little bit of a surprise there. But these old, historic, sort of old England looking movies, not usually my type of thing, but I'm still intrigued going by that trailer. I'm glad they didn't give it too much away, so we'll see. Just the one release on the 8th of May, guys, and this is Affection. Now, I believe this is just coming to limited cinemas. Hopefully it'll come to digital a few days later, who knows. But this stars Jessica Roth, who you'll know from Happy Death Day and the sequel, of course, who played Tree in that movie. And it looks like she has this condition where she forgets everything, and the next day she doesn't remember who she is or anything. And she's caught in this cycle where she just wakes up and doesn't know who she is, and she has this husband who is explaining things to her, who she is and everything like that, but she doesn't seem to trust him every time he explains himself, something like that. Now, this looks like a really cool thriller. Looks like it's got lots of twists and turns along the way. I was very intrigued by the trailer, and I was just thinking, okay, what's going on here? Trying to guess the movie already, but it hasn't got the best early reviews. So that does give me a little bit of no hope, if you like, but I'm going to make my own mind up with this one, guys, because of all the trailers I checked here, this one was one of the ones that had me more intrigued than any other films. I was like, okay, these guys are getting a bad review, but this looks like my sort of thing. Kind of looks like that movie 50 First Dates, but with a real horror thriller twist on it, put it that way. So yeah, I'm going to be checking this one out now after checking that trailer out. Just the one release for the 15th of May, guys, and this is the big one. Obsession, directed by Curry Barker. Now, this for me is my most anticipated film of the entire year. If you go and check my video out, my most anticipated movies of the year, I'll leave in the link down below, guys. This is number one. Now, this is a film I am so hyped about, and it is the only film in this video that I haven't watched the trailer for. I've heard the concept. That's all I need to know. This is about this guy who wishes for his crush to take a liking to him, but it goes down some very dark, sinister paths, and the clues in the title, it looks like she becomes obsessed with him. Every time I've gone to cinema and this trailer comes on, I just cover my ears and look down, and I just don't want to know. But I've heard so much from YouTubers who I trust, who've seen this movie at film festivals, at Fantastic Fest and everything, and they all said it was their number one film at the festival. Curry Barker is a guy who is really on the rise now. I watched Milk and Cereal that he put free on YouTube. Another 60-minute movie, actually. And that's a found footage film, and he done such a good job of that. I thought that was one of the more better horrors and more surprising horrors of 2023 or 24. And he has made this movie, and Focus Features apparently given $15 million and said, let us distribute this film, we want this. And I've just heard nothing but good things about it. I believe it's got lots of weird things in there, does some things that horror movies don't usually do and everything like that. I'm very excited. Now, Curry Barker must be doing something right because he's just been given the reins for the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. If I watch this and it's as good as I think it's going to be, then I'm going to be... It's already my #1 most anticipated horror movie for the future, but that will definitely elevate it even more if I like this film. And I'm trying to calm my expectations, but I've just heard too many good things about it, guys. This looks right up my street. I cannot wait for the 15th of May. So definitely be reviewing this one on the channel for sure. I'm glad I'm going in kind of blind, just knowing the concept. So very, very excited for Obsession. Next up, on the 18th of May, we do have Killer on the Air, or also known as Her Life is on the Line. Now, I believe this actually aired on American television late last year, but it's getting a digital release on the 18th of May. Now, I really like the concept for this one. This is about a popular talk show host who gets a call from this murderer saying, I'm going to kill someone by the end of your shift. And she's got to try and figure out who it is and why this person is doing it. I don't know if the whole movie is a one location thing, but I watched the trailer and it kind of looks like it switches. I thought it would have been a one location thing, just here on the phone, kind of like that movie The Guilty with Jake Gyllenhaal in. But when I watched the trailer, I realized I was more intrigued by the concept. The trailer wasn't the best. It looked okay, but it did look a little bit amateurish at times. But I'm still going to watch this movie because I do love a good thriller and I like the concept. So we'll see. I'm not too sure on this one though, but I thought I'd mention it because maybe it'll be a surprise. I don't know. There's not too many reviews of this on Letterboxd or anything, so I don't know how many people seeing it in the US. But yeah, I'm going to check it out just for the concept there. I think it sounds like a cool story. Coming on the 22nd of May, we do have The Passenger. Now, I got to say, guys, this is one of the scariest movie trailers I have ever seen at the cinema. I heard it was a scary trailer going in, and then when it came up on the screen, I went, oh, The Passenger. I haven't seen this one yet. And I jumped out my skin. This is a really effective jump scare. But I just hope this hasn't shown the best bit already and the movie has nothing else in store. We will see. But this is directed by Andre Overdahl, who has done movies like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Troll Hunter, Last Voyage of the Demeter. Average to okay movies, you know, he's got a decent track record. But this sees a couple driving along the road and they witness a brutal murder or a brutal accident maybe. Can't quite remember. And because they've witnessed it, this demon called the Passenger will not leave them alone and wants to claim their lives. Sounds very interesting. I do love a good on-the-road horror movie. So it'll be really interesting to see where that goes with these two characters and this demon. Demon looked kind of cool, I thought, what it did show in the trailer. And it has a very eerie sort of setup at the start of the trailer where it says 130 million people take road trips every year around the world. 15,400 of them are never seen again. So that just sends shivers up your spine straight away, doesn't it? But this one's got potential. Like I said, just hope they haven't kind of blew the load too early. Like Jim off American Pie. Let's just hope that, you know, there's more in store and they haven't used the best trick up their sleeve yet. But looking forward to this one. That is The Passenger. Next up, we do have Saturine on the same date, and this is coming to cinemas. I forgot to mention as well that Passenger is also coming to cinemas. This is directed by Natalie Erica James, and she did Apartment 7A, the prequel to Rosemary's Baby. And I got to say, I really enjoyed that prequel. It was a little bit like for like to Rosemary's Baby, but I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was a decent movie. And this sees this young girl called Hannah, who is trying a weight loss program, this very unique and different take on trying to lose weight. It's kind of a shortcut, like kind of like people are maybe doing now with Mounjaro. You know, and people who are doing Mounjaro, by the way, great. I think I've seen some really great results from that, and I'm happy for people who are really doing well on that, to be honest. But this movie sort of sees like this is a shortcut, but it's kind of cheating your way there, because what this movie is doing is seeing this young girl, Hannah, eating the ashes of dead people, but it actually helps you lose weight. However, she starts to become haunted by the person she is eating. So it looks like she's having maybe a little bit of these ashes every day, like a little dab, like a little supplement there. And that just sounds like a very intriguing concept. The movie had the trailer, sorry, had some creepy moments, so I really do hope they can nail the scares. This is one that I'm very interested in. I only heard about it last week when the trailer dropped, and it looks like it's gonna be really focusing on like gym life and diets and, a diet advice, which is a big thing these days. We see a lot of influencers and everything talking about diets, and great, they know what they're talking about. Most of them do. But this is gonna have a social commentary on that, I feel, in a fun way, where it's kind of poking fun at it. That's what I think that it's gonna do. But this one sounds very interesting, guys, and I've got high hopes of this one. I think it could be a very clever film. So that is Saturine. Also coming to the cinema on the same day, we do have Corporate Retreat. Now, this sees a bunch of young executives going on a team building exercise to this sort of holiday home. And when they get there, they become trapped in this house. And it looks like their old boss or one of their old team members has basically brought them there as a trap, and they're all locked in the house. And he's playing a deadly game, and they've got to kind of do what he says. It looks like he might have to take people out and everything, or their lives are at stake, because he's got like these little devices on them that can sort of, I think from the trailer he was kind of choking them with some poison or something like that. This really reminds me of the Belko experiment, which I just watched for the first time last week, by the way. And it just gave me them vibes, really, where these characters are forced into these tight situations and have to make impossible decisions. It looks like there's a little bit of gore in there as well, going from the trailer. So, yeah, I mean, I like movies like that. I did enjoy the Belko experiment. I didn't love it, but it was fine. But yeah, it just really reminded me of that film. So let's hope it does take inspiration from that, but go in a few different directions and do something different. But yeah, I've got a feeling this one might be good. You say young executives. Look, I'm not a pop at anyone who's done well in life, but some people would prejudge them people as being, not all of them, obviously, but some of them would be assholes and kind of stuck up their own ass a little bit. I do feel like some of the characters in this movie might be doing that, but who knows? But yeah, this one looks all right. We'll see how it turns out. Now, coming on the 29th of May from director Kane Parsons is going to be Backrooms, an A24 horror movie that sees this furniture store in the basement have a secret door to another room. And this room kind of looks like it's going on forever and becomes one big gigantic maze. And these characters discover it and look like they're trying to solve the mystery of what's going on in this room and the secrets it contains. The trailer doesn't give too much away, but it does look a very interesting movie. I don't think this is going to be for everyone though, guys. This might be a little bit too mind-bendy and twisty here and there, a little bit of a maybe art house style movie at times. I don't know, but I think it looks interesting. I'm really intrigued by the mystery of this one and where it's going to go. So I'm all down for this one. I think it could be a surprise hit of the year. Who knows? But A24 always got me interested. I know they've been doing a few movies lately that seem kind of too mainstream, like the Glenn Powell one. What was it? Killing Them Softly? I can't remember the name. How to Make a Killing. Sorry, not Killing Them Softly. So yeah, but this looks like typical A24. So we'll see how this one turns out. But looks very intriguing, very mysterious, and very original. So yeah, I'll be there for that one, definitely. Just thought I'd mention this Indonesian film, guys, and this is Smothered, and it's coming to Shudder. Now, there isn't actually a trailer for this one, so this is the other one that I haven't checked out the trailer for. But it has a decent sounding premise where this guy who is losing his memory, or he's trying to regain his memory, should I say, after an accident. And this woman is coming along and saying, I'm your mother, but he doesn't quite believe that this woman is actually his mother. So let's be honest, it does sound like the other film we spoke about earlier, coming on the 8th of May, Affection. So it's kind of the same setup, really. But I just thought I'd mention it because I kind of like that premise. It's just weird that we're getting two of the same sort of style movie in this month with the same concepts. But this has actually already been out in Indonesia last year, but it's making its premiere in the US and UK on Shudder, on the 29th of May there. So yeah, I thought to bring that one up, even though I don't really know too much about it. Just the plot synopsis sounded intriguing enough. Next up, we do have Pitfall coming to cinemas. Now, just as I was about to film this video, I had a quick look at my phone and the trailer was there, and I was like, oh, another movie I've got to talk about this month. So I watched it and I thought, this actually looks pretty good. This looks like it's in the same vein as the movie Fall or 127 Hours or Buried, where it's kind of this guy who's stuck. He falls down a pit and is impaled on a bunch of spikes and he can't get out of there, and he's trying to look for help, look for a way out, and his friends can't really find him. They're all kind of camping in the woods and they don't know where he's gone because he's fell down this pit basically. But I don't think the whole movie is going to spend its entire time in this one location, kind of like the movies I've just mentioned did. It looks like there's something else in the woods, like this killer roaming around, and that this pitfall might not actually be an accident. So that's an interesting little twist on things, I think. I think this one looks pretty good. You know, I don't really recognize too many of the cast members or the director's previous work or anything, but I like the premise. And the trailer looked like it might be a very interesting thriller horror movie. So yeah, very interested to check this one out. It just kind of came out of nowhere, this. And lastly, coming on the 31st of May, guys, we do have Speed Demon. Now, this film sounds absolutely insane. This is all about this woman who is an ex-nun who's lost her faith, and she has to perform her first exorcism on a possessed passenger on a runaway train, and this passenger is hell-bent on crashing this train and killing all the people on board. And you've got William H. Macy on there, who is a priest trying to help her along with this exorcism. Now, that just sounds like a crazy-ass concept, doesn't it? I am not usually into demonic exorcism movies. I think they all try to replicate The Exorcist, and none of them quite get there. The Last Exorcism was a good one. I really enjoyed that, but that was more found footage style. A lot of the ones I've watched in the past are just, or the past few years, have been terrible. The Pope's Exorcist, The Exorcism, both Russell Crowe movies, by the way. But this one's got William H. Macy in, and I've always loved William H. Macy since the days of Fargo, one of my favourite films of all time. He's in Boogie Nights. He's just a great actor, really. And I'm interested to see how he's going to sort of fare in this one as this priest. A lot of big actors have been taking roles of priest lately, haven't they? Like Russell Crowe and Al Pacino, who was in, was it The Ritual last year? That was awful as well, another demonic possession movie. But this one being on a train intrigued me a little bit more. I think that's a good little mix up there. Could be a lot of fun. And yeah, I would rather see an exorcism movie do something different there in a different location, especially because I like movies that take place on trains. This one might work for me a little bit. It does look a little bit low budget at the director's work. I had a little look at, and they're all kind of straight to VOD. This is coming to digital as well, but we'll see. It sounds wacky. Could be good. Could be terrible. Who knows? Okay, guys. Hope you all enjoyed that video. Hope some of these movies have been put on your radar that you may not have heard about. And if there's any films in this video that you're looking forward to, please do let me know which ones take your fancy down below in the comments. I'll get back to you all, I promise. And if there's any I missed, please do let me know. There was one called My Friend is Dead or something, or My Best Friend is... I can't quite remember the title, but it looked kind of terrible, so I didn't talk about it. So there are some that haven't took my interest that I haven't mentioned. But like I said, if there's any you think I should be checking out, please do let me know. It's going to be a great month for horror. And don't forget, I'll try and review as many of these as possible. So thanks so much, guys. You all take care, and I'll see you all in the next video.